Hello, it's Nikki. How you doing? It's Friday. I firstly must apologise if you can hear some drops of water. Nobody's on the loo. I am looking out my window and it's absolutely chucking it down. So that's probably what you can hear. But I hope you've had a good week. I hope you found some moments of stillness, or you've been kind to yourself, or you've taken whatever you've needed from this week. We've been okay. I was saying to a friend the other day, and actually a client the other day, just saying, I have no news. It's just the same. We're doing what we've done for the last year. And I think we're all feeling it, aren't we? We're just ready to shake things up a little bit. But, we are where we are and we must stay safe and all that good stuff. So today's episode, I want to share with you a little mindset shift that I had in the homeware aisle of Tesco. Yes, I know, all these entrepreneurs and coaches, they talk about, like when I was at the top of the Empire State Building and I was delivering this worldwide conference, I'm going to take you to the home aisle of Tesco. And it's not particularly aspirational, but I think this is the point. Okay, what are you hanging on about, Nikki? Let's get into it. So, I don't know about you, but since being in this situation almost for a year now, I've become acutely aware of our environment, of our home situation. And that has meant upgrading lots of things in our house where you go, oh my goodness, I cannot look at that thing or use that thing anymore. Like, who bought it? And then you're like, oh, I bought it. I've never liked it. It doesn't work. It doesn't do the thing. So there's been pictures, for example, that we've had that we've never hung up. Why? They've just been hanging around. So we've now got a lovely gallery wall in our hallway. That's been a really great moment. Matt bought himself a 4-slicer toaster. And he said, and he's always joking when he says this, but I don't know if he's actually joking. He said the first time, he said this is like the second most grown-up thing he's ever done. And the first was to have a corner sofa. And we have 2 children, we live together, we have a house, like all of that stuff. No, it's a sofa and a toaster. Those are his grown-up markers of success. He also bought a tin opener that plugs in, and it when it works, it's a beautiful thing. It's very effortless. It's kind of like an ice skater going around, this sounds so weird, going around the edge, the rim of the tin, and it's a great thing. But that angle, it does take a bit of work. So I have been building. Oh, and I bought some lovely Le Creuset mugs as well. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. I can't believe it. So when was it? Last summer, I bought some really lovely rainbow mugs. So there's what have we got? We've got an orange one. We've got a navy sort of petrol-y blue one. We've got an orange one. And then we've got a marbly pink one. Yeah, they're great. Really happy with them. And they just make me feel nice having a cup of tea in a really good mug. So the thing that I haven't been able to find, however, is the dinner set of dreams. And I figured at 39, I would have kind of had all this grown-up stuff by now. And we do have lots of grown-up stuff, of course. But this dinner set where you just go, oh, this is great, this play. And anyway, I've been on the hunt for it for a while. And the thing is, I have very specific requirements like you do. So you know those sets where you might get the side plate, the dinner plate, the pasta bowl and the cereal bowl. I have requirements about how I want to have my cereal. Like, it has to be substantial. I have to be able to hold it in, I'm not going to go into that. But when I'm looking at something, when they say a 16-piece set, it actually takes a lot for me to go, the plate's quite nice, but no, the bowl's not going to work. Oh no, that cereal bowl looks so flimsy. No way. And mainly in our house, we have big bowls, like the pasta bowls. So if we quite often for lunch, we have a bit of a pick and mix thing. Oscar calls it a dippy bowl. So I'll chop some pita bread, I'll do some hummus, I'll do carrots and cucumber and olives and bits of cheese and all of that sort of stuff. And I love that kind of food as well, that sort of rainbow bowl of bits and bobs. And I've been on the hunt for these pasta bowls for a while. And I just kept putting it off because I was like, I haven't found these perfect things because they need to be in the set. Anyway, today I was in Tesco, and this is after yesterday evening. I had to wash up some bowls in order to eat my dinner. And I was like, hang about this. I like to have a bit of excess in my life. I don't want to be giving myself another job. Like, what is this all about? Anyway, I found these bowls in Tesco today, and they were £2.50 each. Really substantial. They have they're white on the inside, and then two of them have a grey bit around the outside, and the other two have this sort of mustardy ochre type colour around it. And I was looking at them, and this is where we get into the business chat, because I was looking at them. I'd gone on my run, and quite often I'll go to this big Tesco's because it was massive. I was after some wellies for my son. They didn't have what I needed. And then anyway, I came back with these 4 bowls, which actually running and carrying 4 pasta bowls is not conducive, but there we go. And I was standing in the aisle and I was thinking, I really like these. Yes. Oh, they're really nice. They're really reasonable. I could get 4. I could just about carry them. Yeah, this is going to work. But in my head, I hadn't had Tesco being the thing that I was going to buy them from, because in my head I was like, they're going to come from a Portuguese ceramicist who, can tell me the story of how they fired and how they glazed them, and like I had all this stuff. And we were supposed to be going to Spain this year, and we're not going now because my brother's having to get married he's getting married this year, but having his do, as it were, next year. And in my head, maybe I thought, oh gosh, I'd find some beautiful stall or beautiful little shop down an alleyway where I could get some authentic, beautiful bowls, and it would be great. And so standing near the North Circular in Tesco on a rainy afternoon with my running kit, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is the plan. But this is when I had to pause. And this is maybe when you need to think about I'm not telling you what to do, but you may want to consider what's going on for you. I had to consider what the next right step was at this very moment. And my requirement right now is to be able to go to my cupboard and find a stack of clean bowls that I can just take and I can help myself to whenever I need them. I'm looking for ease. I want to move to that next step. And that very basic requirement was not being fulfilled. So these bowls, which were a tenner in total, so it's not the end of the world. And let's face it, even if I get this beautiful dinner set, we'll probably still keep hold of them because we've always got leftovers in the fridge and all of that good stuff. But it really made me think that sometimes this need, this pressure, this perfection to be able to afford or be able to source or access the big thing, we can't do anything. We can't move forward in our businesses, in our personal brand until we can get that thing. And firstly, I would always question that and always ask, what do I need to do next? What is the next right action that I need to take? And in my case, it was get the bowls. Get the bowls. And then I came home, had some lovely lunch. I had some mackerel and rocket, and it felt really abundant. It felt really good. And I just sat down with that first bowl and I thought, oh my goodness, that was worth it completely. Like, I feel really good. I feel really good making this podcast for you. I know I'm going to do some really great work this afternoon. I know that it's all lining up in the way that it should. But one of the things that I get sometimes, or what I hear, is from other people who are waiting. They're waiting to make the video until they've got the big camera crew, or they can get somebody to come to their house and they could do X, Y, and Z. Or they're waiting until they can afford a team in order to get more visible. Or they're waiting for a sense that they can afford the technology, or they're trying to sell something first before investing in something. And we're not playing silly buggers here. You know, I really dislike it when people just say, just put it all on a credit card. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's like, no, let's be real about what putting something on a credit card means. It means interest. It means that you need to have a plan to pay it back. It means it's not free money. I must be very clear about that. But I will say I have put things on credit cards before because I've needed to... that's been my next right action, because I needed to move my business forward. But then I've paid it back and it's all been fine, and it's all been fairly straightforward in that process. But I want you to think about today where you are right now and where that is, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10. So if you have, I don't know, a goal or something that you know that you need to look at, so you might be saying, right, I really need help with my accountability. And you may be saying, okay, well, I can't afford to do a 5-figure sum for a coach. Like, that just seems too much. Okay, but what can you do in this moment? Like the Tesco pasta balls, like, do you need to just do that to move you forward? And this has been really important and really key in terms of my journey of really doing everything that I can in the moment. And when I first started out, I was doing the free version of everything. Of course I was, because I wasn't making any money. I was the first person in my family, or that I really knew of, who was delving into this new area. Even though people were talking on the internet like, yeah, I just make $50 million a year, I was just thinking, but none of that feels like I can touch it. None of that feels relatable or close to me. So I really struggled with those things, and I literally had to put one foot in front of the other and do what I needed to do. Now, last year, when I worked with a coach for a 5-figure sum for the year, a lot of money, I could only do that because I knew how I was going to make the money back. I had a plan of how I was going to make that payment every month. I knew what I needed to sell. I knew where I needed to flesh out certain parts of my business. And ultimately, I knew where I needed the help. And this is really key, because what can happen if we're not really aware and really present about what the next step is that we end up signing up for all kinds of things that drain our energy, that drain our focus, and that we don't need. And there've been a couple of times, and this is so fun, and like, this is me who knows myself very well. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been watching webinars and tele classes, and I've been dialing into funny long numbers that I don't recognize, so I can, in the middle of the night, so I can access something. It's like, press *2, add 3, go and look at the unicorn in your garden. Okay, good, you're live, you can now ask your question. Like, you know, I was really dedicated. But the thing through all of that process has been about, what do I need right now? What's going to take me from the next step? Because so often we talk about the A to Z moment, like I was nothing and now I'm here. There's so many letters and nuances in between. And even me, who knows myself, as I was going to say before, and know that at this time, the investments that I'm going to be making for 2021, they're going to be in technology. They're going to be in support in terms of a team and people helping me, and the coaching and personal development, and maybe even the therapy. Let's see. I might, I've had some therapy before. I think it's a wonderful thing. I definitely think you need therapy if you're an actor as well, because you need to protect and contain that space for you. Otherwise you can go a bit mad if you're playing a character for way too long. But I know that I need that one-to-one support, and I'm willing to pay for it. For me, that feels like that match at that moment. But it didn't always. And sometimes it did, and sometimes it didn't. And then I needed to do something else. And I was making decisions based on my finances. Let's be frank, that's what it was. Until I realized, oh, instead of thinking about the other areas in my life where I go, well, I need to play small. Or this thing that people always talk about, like if you just stop buying your morning coffee, think about how much you're going to save over the year. And if you just say no to, I don't know, if you buy the cut price beans instead of the Heinz baked beans, whatever it is. And of course, there is a great way where you can be savvy and you can be really mindful about how you spend. But ultimately, it is about going, well, how am I just going to make more money? How do I actually just need to get more money into my business? And as I was saying, there have been probably 2 or 3 occasions already, and we're only February the 4th, I think, the 3rd, not sure, 4th. I have almost signed up for like 3 other group programs. Why? I don't want to do group work. I'm not doing group work at this time. I need one-on-one. I need somebody who's going to be with me by my side in a safe relationship, of course, not me being really needy. But why am I being enticed into things? What is it about that situation that is pulling me forward? So that's what I want to say today. And to sum it up in a way, what is it that you need? What is it that you need? What's going to take you from where you are right now to the next step? And if it is somebody one-to-one, or if it is something where you go, yeah, that's the most expensive thing, but it is the thing. That's the thing that I need. Have a think about how you can make that work for yourself. Have a think about what you would need to do in order to make that happen. So I've seen this over the years, and if you don't know already, I used to work as a theatrical agent. It was like my out-of-work acting job, and I was really good at it. Sorry, I'm bigging myself up here, but I really enjoyed it. It was a really lovely world, and I loved getting people jobs and, helping people make really serious cash and strategizing and working with people. We had people in EastEnders and Hollyoaks and the BBC and, oh my goodness, Disney and all kinds of things. And it was a really exciting situation. And quite often there would be this sense from actors, not just at that agency, but I've seen it all the time, to scrimp and save, to try and go in the back door somehow, or say, I don't really have the money, or, oh, I'm not really sure. And it's not necessarily about the money, it's about how you're leading in that situation. So they would say, oh, I could get my mate to take my headshots. They're not going to charge me anything. I just have to buy them a few beers. Well, what happens if it's your mate taking them? Your mate ends up being a bit late, or maybe your mate doesn't make you feel that comfortable, so you can't be that professional, that kind of hardcore version of yourself, not hardcore, like that kick-ass version of yourself. And what you can end up doing is not only wasting your time, but not getting what you need from the experience. And likewise, there would be some people who go, I know that I want to shoot with this person, but they cost X. And I certainly had that over time, and I've always really invested in photography because I know that it pays off. I know that if you have a really professional picture, this is in terms of acting, you can use them again and again. Likewise, doing professional photo shoots for your website or things like that. It's so much better than just a random selfie. But one thing I noticed was sometimes there would be a case where I'd have to book the session, and I'd have to book it 3 months in advance because I'd have to sign up, and there might be like a 50 quid deposit. So I'll be like, right, okay, I'll put my 50 quid deposit down. That's okay. Right, that's sorted. How am I going to make the money in order to do that? But what would happen that even though it took a longer time, I am energetically shift, because suddenly it became a thing of, not a thing rather, of going, oh, I'm kind of thinking about this and maybe hoping that this could be the case, and we'll see one day. And actually going into a point of going, no, I am doing it, it's in the diary. My session's booked in. It's coming. It's going on. And what happens is, unless you shift into that energy of it's happening, I'm going for it, you can stay in that moment where you're just sort of paddling. You're paddling at the sides and you're not getting any closer, and you're not getting what you need from your business or your situation. So I'm going to leave that with you today. Have a think about what you need. If I can help, do book in a free 15-minute session with me. I have a few new kind of packages that I'm looking at. So I'm restructuring things a little bit. And that all should be live on Monday. So in the meantime, do get in touch, hello@NikkiRaby, and book a free 15-minute session. And you know what? That commitment of saying something out loud. I want to do X. I am making a plan to do this. I am moving forward on my goals. I tell you what, the number of times where people book that session with me and by the afternoon they go, oh my goodness, I've just had a new client inquiry, or something else has just happened. That's the thing about being in momentum. It's not necessarily about that money. It's about making that decision. Am I in the game or am I not? And with my new Tesco pasta bowls, I am in the game of good, healthy, dippy bowl food that I'm going to enjoy. And that dinner set, do you know what? I bet I'll get an advert or an email newsletter sent to me and I'll be like, there it is. There's the perfect non-flimsy cereal bowl 6-piece experience that I've been waiting for. But in the meantime, I'm very happy with my bowls. I'll keep you updated. There won't be much to tell. Thank you once again for listening and for being with me today. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please share it across social media. Tag me @NikkiRaby, and I'll see you on Monday. Lots of love. Bye.